ladies and gentlemen. It's the throwback Curtis Robertson here with episode number 7 of the Curtis Robertson Show. I'm excited to be here with you today as we are on every Thursday at noon. And maybe we need a new time for this. I don't know. But you don't have to listen Thursday at noon. You can listen whenever you want to because, it's asynchronous. So it doesn't really matter when you're listening to the show. You can do it whenever you want to do it. There's no rules. There's no rules to that. So we have a quick show. I got a packed schedule this week. If I didn't squeeze this recording in now, I don't know when I would have been able to squeeze it in here, but I wanted to keep the discipline up, the discipline going, the resolve, the perseverance to keep doing it here. But serious question for you guys. I'm getting a lot of anecdotal feedback. People like stuff about the show, and they're telling me that. But we're some weeks, if we have a good week on YouTube, 30, 40 views. If we have a lousy week like last week, and I thought we had a lot of good contact last week, 7 or 8. So hey, please share the program out with people so they know what the heck is going on. And they can hear this. The people, I'm getting a lot of the boys are saying, "Hey, I want to come on the show," and I don't know. I know some of these guys, and I don't want them to come to Throwback Tower. If I'm being perfectly honest with you, they want to do it in person, but maybe we'll have to do it on like SteamYard or something because I don't want them to know where Throwback Tower is exactly and what's going on here because they're already kind of jealous, and then they'll probably steal my stuff. There's a lot of desperate and bereft people in the wrestling business. So I'm just saying, I'm not trying to be controversial or anything like that. I'm just saying this is what it is. But what we got today? So the rundown for today's show. Seriously, I'm asking, what do you guys want? What kind of content is going to make you happy? I'll try to deliver it here because part of this is just a diary for me, but another part of it is I want you guys to get something out of it too. So if you don't, that's fine. I'll just continue talking to myself like I've been doing. I don't care. My face is getting a little chunky. Look at that. I got it on the Stairmaster this week. Then we're going to talk about blenders. We're going to talk about blenders in a second. We'll have our first reveal. So some blenders here. We got some goodies in the mail. The throwback did. Okay. A little bit more on the video game Avowed and a bunch of crybabies out there in the world. A bunch of cranky crybabies. We'll do that. Some political talk in the wrestling business, very obliquely, just touching on it tangentially a little bit. And then we'll talk about George South, who's going to be fighting for the NWA World Championship. So that's exciting for me. Because I love the NWA and the history and all that. If you're a wrestling person, then you like that too. So let's jump into it first. Let's talk about the blenders here a little bit. Let's talk about the blenders and see what we got going on here. We'll switch cameras for this. Ooh, fate. That's nice. We'll switch cameras here a little bit. I'm gonna get this going here. We've got the case. This is the case that they come in, and this is the Prime. These are the Prime sunglasses that we're going to be looking at. I'm going to be looking at the Prime glasses. See, it says Prime. It says Prime on it there. And then on the back, it says Blender. So this comes with a little case. It's a leatherish case. Sounds like that. If you're just listening, this isn't fun for you. Shame on you. We do it with video. Watch it. Don't just listen. So we've got the blenders here. We'll show you again on this camera now. Yes, it says Prime, and then it says blenders on the back. All right, so it's got a little zipper case here, a little zip action going on. All right, and then once we get inside of there, we've got another bag, to keep our things safe here. And these are always good because you can give your glasses a little wipe there if they think they might be dirty. All right, and then here we go. Open that up, and here we are. Oh boy, do those look nice. They're mirrored in gold. So let's switch them out here. let's switch them out. We'll take off the Louis Vuittons here. All right. No, these aren't Louis Vuittons. These are Versace's. Louis Vuitton's broke. That's a story too. We'll tell that story in a little bit. Um, and then we'll put these on. Ooh, ooh, that looks good. That looks good. It's mirrored. You can't play cards with these. All right. If I was going into a card tournament right now, you would know what cards I had in my hand when I was looking at it. Would not be good for that, but definitely good for looking good. I'm wearing my old one of my old T-shirts here from when I was playing cards. Um, Airfare Gaming, shout out to them. Custom T-shirts for us when we were playing here. Shout out to Airfare Gaming, Trey Fairclough, and all those guys. But yeah, these look terrific. I think I might wear these to dinner. This is being recorded on Tuesday. It'll be up on Thursday, the 26th, 27th, but today's the 25th, and it's 17 years ago today, the Throwback and the Future at the time, Mrs. Throwback started going steady. That's when she became a main squeeze. So shout out to Kayla, and we're going to go to Web Custom Kitchen tonight in Gastonia, one of our favorite hangouts in the area. If you've never been there and you're in the area, go there. Used to be an old theater, and then it became an old movie theater, and now it's a restaurant. But they kept all the old furniture and the movie screen and stuff like that. The food's fantastic. The aesthetics are fantastic. The service is fantastic. Only the best for the Throwback. So you should go there and check them out. I really love these. These are fantastic sunglasses. Yeah, so Louis Vuitton story real quick. So I made a promo video about this a couple of years ago. So 4 or 5 of you that watch everything would know about it. But otherwise, like in my promo pic and all that I use most commonly, and in a lot of the earlier materials, you'll see me with the Louis Vuitton glasses on, and I used to love those. And those were the metal frame millionaire ones, and they cost quite a pretty penny. So after I was wearing them for about a year, I'm in a show somewhere, and I only wore them to the ring and back. So I'd wear them to the ring, and at one time I went on vacation. I wore them in the Dominican Republic because the Throwback's got property all over the world. One of those places, Dominican Republic. When I go to visit my Dominican Republic properties, um, I'll wear the glasses there, and we'll put a pin in that. We're going to do a little bit of weaving today. Here's a weave for you. Everybody in the Dominican Republic looks exactly like me. Um, so it's very confusing. It's like I went to a family reunion, but only I don't speak Spanish. So people will walk up to me, they'll start talking to me in Spanish. They're asking me for help. They're asking me for things. I can't understand what they're saying at all, and they don't believe me. They think I'm pulling their leg when I'm like, what are you talking about? Um, so that's just a thing that happens. And they have they're pretty cool there. If you can bribe their TSA folks to go to the front of the line, and it's like $20. So when you're coming through customs there, if you've got a 20 on you, they'll put you or in this case Mrs. Throwback right into a wheelchair like she's hurt. We'll go right to the front of the line, skip the line, and start your vacation 2 or 3 hours earlier. That's a pro tip for you out there. If you make eye contact with some of the security guys there and you give them the high sign and palm them or 20, you skip the line. They're very serious about security in the Dominican Republic. Just kidding, they're not at all. They'll let you right through for $20. You bypass everything. Yeah, no check. Anyway, so I had Louis Vuitton glasses, and um, I'm at a show. It was just it's to the ring, and then they go back into. They had a little bag like this too. It said Louis Vuitton instead of Blenders, obviously, or Prime. Um, they go right back into the bag, and then into the case. They had like a hard case as well, and then into my gear bag, and then back home, and then into the closet with all my other sunglasses and jewelry until the next show. So that's how I took care of them because they're quite expensive. And then one day, the frame, the frame just broke, and it broke like right here where the arm meets the corner, it just popped open, the lens falls out, and that's that. So I contact them, and they're like, "Yeah, there's nothing we can do about it. We don't have any repair." And I was willing to pay for a repair. I didn't want anything for free, but we don't have any repair options. We don't have any replacement options for you. You can, if you give us $1,000, you can have another pair. Was pretty much the story. So we switched away from Louis Vuitton after that. The Versace's have been great to us, and they've got a warranty. They're also more durable. We've had them for about the same amount of time. Same setup, to the ring, back into the closet. They look fantastic. Nothing's happened to them. Only downside with these guys is they're not mirrored. Okay, they're not mirrored. And then Seth Rollins wears them on TV, so people think I'm copying him, but I was doing the sunglasses thing on my own, independently of that. And what I thought was that if I got top of the line sunglasses, it would elevate what people thought about the other jewelry that I was wearing to the ring. And the opposite happened. What happened instead is that folks think now that the sunglasses are fake because they are ignorant about the jewelry and they think there's something wrong with that. But there's nothing. The jewelry's legit too. So that backfired a little bit. But what are you gonna do? Anyway, so that's it about blenders. Um, Fantastic. I think they look fantastic. Here's a different angle, so you can look at them from a different angle. Um, Next week we'll have a different pair of blenders to review, and then we'll see if we need to get more from there. If we're getting these models in different colors, if we're getting different designs. This is where your participation and feedback becomes important because you get to decide. You know, I the throwback is he's doing pretty good for himself, and he's got some discretionary income, and I want you to help me decide how I spend it and have all the fun with these great things. You get to be a part of that. How great is that? You get to see the cool stuff that I buy for myself. Um, you probably can't buy cool stuff for yourself, and that's okay. But at least you get to live vicariously through the throwback. You should think about that. Um, you should think about that, and you should be honored because not everybody gets that opportunity, and don't squander it. If you're not participating, if you're not sharing this, and if you're not commenting, you're squandering your opportunity. You're wasting your chance to have your voice heard, and that's just a shame. So more on Avowed. We talked about Avowed a little bit last week. Switching gears, Avowed, new video game from Obsidian Entertainment. It's a Western style RPG where you walk around in the first person, and you either could be a wizard, use magic, or fight with swords and axes, or be a ranger, or fight unarmed. And you're just going through an adventure, and it's a lot like the Outer Worlds in that you just got the adventuring into combat and the quest solving. There's not a lot else to do, but it's well written, a lot of fun. And then people, they get, I don't know why this happens. I guess there was some disputes between the art director for the game and some other folks out in the world. And, they review bombed the game because they didn't like the politics of the guy that was directing the game or something like that. But they review bombed it and they said, "Oh, the game is woke and it's DEI, yada yada yada," and it just doesn't make any sense to me. And one of the things that they cited was that you could choose to be called he, she, or they at the beginning of the game, and this was a big deal to them. So because they didn't want to see they, I guess. Well, if you don't want that one, don't click it, and then it doesn't come up anymore. What's the problem? Shut up. It's just like the thing I said a couple of weeks ago about the halftime show. If you don't like it, switch the channel. It doesn't bother you anymore. What are you making it? Why is this a thing? If it's not for you, it's not for you. just click on the other option. If your elf is a he, then click he. If your elf is a she, then click she. If your elf is a they, click they. Who cares? Why do you care? And then the other thing that they brought up in all this is that there's a quest. Spoilers. There's a minor spoilers for a side quest here. So if you're gonna play Avowed and you're listening to this and you don't want spoilers for the side quest, I'm gonna give you go ahead about 20 or 30 seconds, and then you'll be past it. So there's like a quest where there's a brothel and you can help the girls that are working there, the sex workers, and um, the lady, the madam or whatever that's running it wants you to smuggle in some materials that let the sex workers get abortions because they're getting pregnant because in this fantasy world they hadn't invented condoms yet or whatever. That's fine. So you can either keep the uh, abortion ingredients coming or whatever flour it was, or you could tattle on her, you can snitch, and then shut down the brothel. So you had two ways to go. Again, if you can resolve the quest either way, what's the problem? There's no problem with this. The story of the game is not pushing an agenda. It's you choose your own adventure. You can be in favor of it or you can be against it, just like real life. And it's a side quest. You don't even have to play it if you don't want to. You can walk right by the lady and never click on her to talk to her. So again, shut up. Otherwise, the game is still fantastic. I was in the middle of playing with this today because I'm off my anniversary, and I said to myself, "Do I want to stop playing for half an hour to talk to the fans here that are waiting for the next message from Throwback Tower?" And I thought about it, and I said, "Well, no, I really don't want to, but I probably should." So we're here now. Definitely worth a play. Still, I'm having a lot of fun with it. But yeah, more. This kind of ties into the next topic, which is like the political talk in the wrestling world, and especially in the local indie wrestling world, and people complaining about stuff that, frankly, you can complain about whatever you want to. This free speech, First Amendment. Say what you want. I'm saying whatever I want to say right now, and maybe you're listening, maybe you're not listening, maybe you care, maybe you don't, and that's all fine, and you can too. But some of the things that I'm saying, just that I'm hearing, just don't make any sense to me. So there's one promoter that's out here, and I think I'll probably be on a show of his or that he's affiliated with in a week or two, because I'll kind of work with anybody. I don't care. I just want to wrestle while I can and while I'm healthy. You know, you know, the bigotry doesn't bother me too much unless you're like touching kids or beating them or something like that. And that's kind of where I'll draw the line. But if you're just a regular old bigoted person, whatever, I've run into those my whole life, and okay, I'm not gonna change your mind. You're not gonna change my mind. You're just gonna continue to do what you're doing anyway, and people are gonna come or not come, and it's all well and good. So whatever. Um, if you talk to me about it, I'll tell you what I think. But otherwise, again, who cares? So anyway, this guy is on and on about every day. He's on and on and on about uh, the law enforcement in Mecklenburg County and immigration and what he thinks about it, and who should be here and who shouldn't be here, and on and on and on and on and on. And the thing that I'm thinking in my head is a benefit show running in March. So are you checking IDs at the door here? Like if somebody that's got a questionable status in the country comes and they want to watch the show and donate to whatever the cause is, you're going to turn their money away. And I know every you know um, underhanded carny in wrestling in the area around here, and the answer for all of them is no. They would never turn away a nickel. So shut up. All right, if you're not going to put your money where your mouth is, be quiet. Um, it's a foolish thing to go on and on about. So why are you doing it? There's a lot of that goes on. Um, you know, just be a human being. Try that for a little while. Try that on. See how that goes. People are coming out to watch a show. they don't need to hear every thought in your head, especially if it's not well thought out. There's no continuity to it. One doesn't necessarily attach to the next one. Just be quiet. It's okay. Um, so yeah, that's my spiel on that. And I had a question from a young guy, um, young chronologically, also young in wrestling this weekend. He goes to me, "Hey, throwback." I said, "Yes, young man." Hey, throwback. How do you maintain relationships with all of these indie wrestlers? Like, I may be friends with one guy and I'm friends with the other guy, and they're fighting each other, or they're beefing about something. How do you basically? He's asked me, how do I maintain my neutrality on that? And I told him the truth. The truth is, I don't care. Like, if Billy's got a problem with Larry, and so what? Like, we're, especially at the level of some of these shows where I'm working at and trying to get better, and we're wrestling in front of 0 to 150 people for $0 to $50. My main focus is getting out of that place without getting hurt, right? Um, and putting on the best performance possible, and not getting the bone broken or being paralyzed or whatever. That's kind of what I care about. Can I learn something about what I'm doing so I'm better the next time? I don't care what your beef is with this other guy. Oh, he stole my spot for the Gastonia Championship that nobody knows about or cares, or I won't sell one piece of merch for, or won't sell one additional ticket or draw any extra interest, but I'm the champion of, the flea market. Who cares, right? Um, you know, I'm not on. I saw Bruce talk about this the other day. It's like, hey, that guy's using my finish, but I just work spot shows, in front of small crowds. You don't have a finish that nobody knows what's coming and never seen you before. They're at a bar, and this is the entertainment at the bar, right? You know, when you see the band at the live music at the bar, you don't know the hits because they don't know the hits yet. They're still figuring it out. Uh, it's not like the Rolling Stones are showing up, or it's big. It's just the guy. He's playing covers. So same thing. I don't care. And then you get into the other stuff where people are like dating each other, and then they're talking like it ends poorly, and then this this person is mad at that person, or he did me wrong, or she did me dirty. None of that matters to me, and it shouldn't matter to you if you're. I'm talking to the new trainee. I haven't had my first match yet, or I'm a year in, or I've only wrestled in one place, and I don't travel, and maybe I work out, maybe I don't. I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing, kind of guy. Um, yeah, focus on yourself. Focus on getting reps. Focus on getting better. The rest of that stuff doesn't matter at all. I don't care about anybody's relationship. I made a promise to one person, and that's Mrs. Throwback. So I've got to keep that up and take care of my family and my responsibilities. I don't have time to worry about your problems. I got my own. And that's the mentality that you should have with that. I'm trying to remember the 15 spots that this guy wants to do in this 10-minute match that I'm going to forget anyway. I don't have also time to worry about who you're dating, and I'm not, yeah, whatever. So that's kind of how I maintain my neutrality with that. Is I don't focus on it. I try not to focus on negative things. We talked about that in the beginning. And try not to bury people. We're trying to get better at this as we're going. We're trying to entertain people. We're trying to make relationships with them. We're not trying to get into the gossip. Now I will listen if you want to talk trash about that guy over. I'll listen to all of it. I'll get my popcorn out. I'll definitely, you know, tell me more, sister. I am ready for it. The gossip, 110%. But I don't really care. Like I'm not gonna. It does. Nothing's gonna come of it. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna do anything with it. And then last thing I wanted to touch on today, I saw a video today, um, and I've got to get some. I got to get some promos out this week. I think I've got most of them done for my stuff that's coming up in the next week or two. But I saw a video today that George is gonna wrestle for the NWA title at some point, and I'm kind of hoping. I'm rooting. I normally don't root. But I'm rooting for him to win it, only selfishly, because I've wrestled George South before, and that would mean that I had wrestled against an NWA champion with the lineage that goes back to George Hackenschmidt and Frank Gotch and the origins of professional wrestling at the turn of the 20th century. Um, this is ridiculous. I forgot to put myself on Do Not Disturb. So I'm going to hit decline here. We've gotten an interruption from the great Brian Atkinson, who's calling as we're winding down the podcast here. So another tip, make sure you put your stuff on Do Not Disturb so you don't get that. I used to get that a lot in promos. The last thing we'll talk about today is I would, it would happen to me every time. I would have like a 45-second or a minute promo I'm going to do where I'm fighting this guy this Saturday at this place and come see it, buy a ticket, and yada, yada, yada. And I would get so many text messages just in that minute that I'm trying to record the promo. Nothing before, nothing after. But every time I would try to start that, ding, 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 ding. And it's only a minute. I'm very surprised here. I didn't get any text messages. That's why I forgot that I didn't put myself in Do Not Disturb. My phone hasn't buzzed in the last 26 minutes and 55 seconds, except for that phone call there. But shame on me. I wasn't prepared. So again, like, subscribe, share. We'll have more stories. We're going to have guests soon. We want to try to get the Allen brothers on here. They're kind of like my rival when you play Pokemon Red or Blue, whatever. We started at the same time. You know, I picked the Squirtle. Maybe they got a Bulbasaur. I don't know. But we're going to meet down the road over and over again. They're tag team wrestlers right now. I'm a tag team champion right now. We've got the beautiful NAWA tag team title hanging in the back. We're going to lock horns again eventually, I'm sure. But yeah, definitely want to have them on here to share some stories and experiences there because they've been tearing up the Carolinas. Got a couple of other guys that are local and want to reach out as well. Also, some of the other podcasters in the area, if we want to get together, that's okay. So this weekend, I think I've only got one show. I think I'm only at Explosive Pro Wrestling this Friday. They're having the Battle of Boiling Springs, which is exactly what it sounds like. The last time, and quick story, I guess, quick story again. The last time I was in a Battle Royal in Boiling Springs was a big one for me because I won it. And I'm going to complain about that real quick, but the win there was the start of the throwback starting to get some more notoriety there that led to bookings in other places that led to this here later on. So that was a lot of fun. But there were two things that happened there. We'll talk about Bot Spots real quick too, because that's been a big topic lately. That's been a topic on other talk shows. There was a big one with that was on the national TV this week with Thunder Rosa having a chair, and then the heel's not leaving when the babyface runs in with the chair, and then she's going to swing it, but she's not supposed to hit her with it, so she kind of like did a cancel animation. Everybody just covered that already. But so going back to this Battle Royal, so we got the Battle Royal, and one of the things that I hate about Battle Royals, especially at smaller promotions, is if you've got guys that haven't had matches yet or haven't finished their training, we're going to put them in a Battle Royal just because we need bodies, and maybe they have gear and maybe they don't, but they don't know how to go over the top rope and not break their neck. So when you throw them over the top rope, they don't know how to protect themselves, is the idea. So I can't stand that. So we're doing that. And then also in this Battle Royal was going to be Big Country, who's a been a wrestler around the area forever. Super nice guy. And Brian Bullet is also going to be in this battle royal as well. Brian Bullet is a wrestler. So we're having the battle royal, and Big Country is not going to win the battle royal. He's in the battle royal, but he doesn't want to go over the top rope. So when it's time for him to get eliminated, he just goes through the ropes. And I guess he's knocked out, so he doesn't return to the ring. So he's the first person to ever take a TKO from a battle royal once they were in it, and that was kind of the idea behind it. He's not going to get back up. So normally when somebody goes through the ropes, they get back in the ring. And there's a lot of shenanigans that you can do with that to build stories off of, but we weren't using any of those. It was just I'm not getting back up. And then at the time, the way the match was supposed to end is that I was not eliminated. I went through the ropes, okay, and I was hiding for the rest of the battle royal, and the fans were trying to get the referee's attention. Hey, he needs to go back in. He's not back in. What's going on? And then Brian Bullet was going to be the last person standing. I was going to go back in the ring, which I did, and I gave him a drop kick, which I did. Beautiful drop, probably one of the best drop kicks I've ever thrown. I throw a lot of beautiful drop kicks, and then he was supposed to go over the top rope, and then I win. He goes through the ropes as well, and again doesn't return to the ring to be thrown back out. So, promoters, other indie wrestlers, everybody, if you're going to be in a battle royal and it's time for you to be eliminated, go over the top rope. If you can't go over the top rope, you probably shouldn't be wrestling. Now, I don't want to tell anybody that they should or shouldn't be wrestling because I still feel very new. You know, I'm probably coming up close on 200 matches, not as many matches as some of these great wrestlers that are in the area. But I can go over the top rope if I have to. So yeah, that's it. You got an extra bonus, a bonus 3 minutes today. Please like, subscribe, share this. Tell your friends, tell your enemies. Buy some blenders. They look great. This is not a paid advertisement because I don't do that yet. I've got 9 listeners. It would be great if we had more, but you guys are being very selfish and keeping it to yourselves, the ones that are listening to it. Thanks for listening this week. Peace out. Where's the stop button?